Welcome to another podcast from the project. Was that good? How was that? Did that look good, guys? I've just been just telling Billy and Pete. I've just been practicing my new intro. I was trying to make it a bit like dramatic, as if it was on BBC or something. I don't. I think someone did a turning me eating off. Jesus, I think someone did an intro like that on. Was it like David Frost or something? Dave Allen it was, I think. They used to have him sitting in
Silhouetted.
the corner with his arms folded. Do you remember that? So
Oh,
anyway,
no.
that was my new intro. What do you think, Pete?
Um, yeah, I preferred the old one.
Which one's that? Where I just say, oh,
Uh, I was just saying, like, you should become the new Tony Butler. You should, and
oh,
host
Tony
the
and
fan.
Spike.
Oh, you could imagine it, couldn't you? Like, right, and we've got Arthur from Norfield. I thought we were shit today. On your bike. Psh, next one. Clara was rubbish today. On your bike. You
Yeah, I
know.
remember Tony Butler. Yeah, I
Yeah.
used to love him though, as
Oh,
though he's absolutely shit, like,
yeah.
but it was funny. I was just saying to you two, hopefully we get a few more people. I don't know where Clive is today, and there's a few others as well. But we're going to talk about a derby review first. So the game, looking at the game on Friday, and then we're going to look forward to the game on Saturday. When we did the review last weekend, who did we lose to last week? I can't remember.
Sheffield United.
Sheffield United. When we did that one, we had like loads of people watching us afterwards. So quite famous now, Pete. But it's good, it's good. You know what we want this podcast to be, and like the stuff that we put on YouTube, it's not going to have like a photo of Tom Wagner and one of someone else crying, and then Chris Davis and a photo of someone else who's going to take his job at a big fucking clickbait headline. We ain't into that shite, like, we just want to talk about the game and be realistic about it. Firstly, I think the first thing to come out of the game on Saturday was prior to the game was the team selection, which I think I'm just going to have a quick look at it again. I think was a little bit unexpected for me. What did you two think of it?
I, um, I thought it was absolutely really funny. I thought, oh God, who they're going to moan at now? They're going to be meltdown because it's almost like, oh no, Beadle's back in goal. Oh no, you know what I mean? Like you could gather, oh no, Cashin's playing. Oh no,
Robinson,
oh no,
Clive's there.
Ducks is there.
You know, yeah.
Score for choice, weren't they?
It was quite funny, really. Clive's on. Clive, you're on mute, son. Put your camera on, put your camera on and your mic, please. There he is. Look. Good morning, son.
Good morning, everyone. Peter. Good morning, Steve. Good morning, Clive. And good morning, Will.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
Morning,
Morning,
actually
Clive.
live at the moment, so and recording live. So, Clive, how did it go for you yesterday, mate? Me and Pete were just wondering how you got on.
Yeah, it was a bit a strange feeling because I haven't been out for some time. Maybe as much been in you. We went, or the lads I go went with, Gosling, used the George pub before and after. Well, I couldn't cope. I said, look, I'll go straight out. I mean, it was busy, and I'm still in the way of thinking, like in 2025, how come we have to wait 15 minutes for a pint of beer and the queues and everything, people pushing and shoving, not on purpose pushing and shoving. That's the way you get through to the toilet, to the bar by pushing through people. So, I'm the old JH performance, just the process. I would say, maybe around 3, 4 out of 10. Will I get a season ticket? Again, just because of the process, not because of the performance or the team. I don't think I would. You're on, you're on, you're on, Science, I see.
Yeah, I'll just put my mute on because if someone's talking and you happen to make a noise, it will go onto their camera. So I
Oh,
muted myself because I was making a lot of noise. Um,
mhm.
we were just saying about the good morning, Dave Peggs here, about uh, starting on Friday with the team selection, and we knew there had to be a few changes. And like Pete was saying, like the miserable bastards would have had an absolute field day. You know, he's not even a right back, and like what cash in? What's happening with Robinson, he can't even control his mouth. What's he doing? Like, Docs, he couldn't hit a fucking barn door with a banjo. So they had a lot to have a little moan about before the game. But when you look at that team, actually, I mean, I wouldn't have personally, it ain't my team to select, but I wouldn't have Ducks in there. I would have had Williamson behind Stansfield. I think we're wasting Stansfield as a striker just to get Ducks into the team, and it shouldn't be like that.
Mm.
And I think what's happening with Chris Davis is he's seen Ducks doing well in training, but when he plays, he isn't performing. And I think the reason for that is in training, obviously they don't go really hard in on each other because they don't want to injure each other, obviously. But when you put him into a team against a team like Derby, you've got people like Danny Bath, who's
Yeah,
standing in
quite physical.
Anderson, and people like that. They're going to kick him all over the place. And he had a couple of nice little touches early on, and then he just did what he always does against big centre halves. He just disappeared. Um, it was really unfortunate with Dimmy, wasn't it?
Yeah. You could feel the loss when as soon as he went off.
Yeah,
Mhm.
but just the way he pulled up as well. I mean, it makes it sort of look like it might be something serious because he wasn't in a
Yeah.
challenge or anything, and he seemed to walk off fairly freely, didn't
Yeah, he's been struggling a bit recently, hasn't he, with injury wise. I think he's getting through, but the way the game was panning out, like you say, he could have put us 1-0 up. We had a nice bright start there. Um, it spoilt the whole sort of like balance of it, didn't it? And then obviously like Kumas had to come on, um, and then they go and score. Um, there was quite a lot at fault for that goal, weren't there?
he? Well, what's your take on it? And I'll tell you mine.
Right. Well, the you can see sort of like just a hopeful punt from Derby into space that shouldn't really be there. So perhaps you could look at the fullback had pushed up a bit too much, um, and then obviously Clara's gone running over to try and challenge the bloke and left the bloke free in the middle. But
Yeah, it was a bit of a cock up, but like the problem with this, and a couple of people have managed today to say this is actually someone actually said this. Robinson had to play really, really well. He knew he had to play brilliantly because of it was his fault for the goal. So, like, as if a player thinks, before, oh, do you know what? I'm going to play fucking brilliantly today, and they go out and you know
Mhm.
what? This is the mentality of the people like. But the ball over the top is something we're always going to get caught with when we play this system. You can't help it. It's not a defender's fault because it's like Robinson was obviously on Saturday given the free range to get forward. And for him to get forward, he scored us a goal, nearly got us 3 goals because his
Mhm.
shooting from the edge of the box was brilliant. He scored a goal through pure persistence. And when he was pushing up like that and the ball goes over the top, there's Cashin, there's Clara, and there's Neumann. Sorry, Cashin, who was it? Clara, Cashin, Clara, and Iwata on that side that should be the three centre halves, like because Robinson was he was out of position, but that's what he's supposed to do. In possession, we played 3 players at the back. When the ball went over like that, I mean, it's no one's fault really. You get caught by it. It was a brilliant ball from was it Diaz?
That's
We
I,
had some Diaz. I think it was either, I can't see, you know what? I think one of my lenses is knackered. Um, uh, oh, it was Brewster. Brewster took the ball wide on the right, crossed it. Beautiful ball. And I mean, Aguiman, what a finish, you know. Uh, what are you going to do about a goal like that? We're always going to be susceptible to that. Unless we change the basic way we play, we're always going to get caught out like that. And every team that plays like this is susceptible to it.
well, looking back at all the comments yesterday, um, you've got somebody turning around. Oh well, Beadle's got flipping concrete boots. Why didn't Beadle? You know, and I'm thinking, oh, for God's sake, give it a rest, please, will you? Um,
But
there,
Beadle is, I mean, I'm not joking. Like, if anyone thinks Beadle had a chance with that, they are fucking
yeah.
idiots. That header was clean. It was, and the beauty of it was the way Brewster crossed it. It didn't cross it hard and low so that it had power. It was looped up. Aguiman produced that power himself, you know, and
Mm.
that ball was like a bullet into the net. And you could see Beadle was just stuck in the middle. He just didn't know where to go. And you wouldn't, would you? You know.
He
I
I'll
mean,
caused
tell
us trouble all day, that Aggie man.
well,
yeah,
it's typical of our supporters having to scapegoat someone for every
Yeah.
yeah,
goal. What you got to do sometimes is say, you know what, that was a fucking really good goal. You know, they caught us on the break, and that's exactly what Derby are about, and that is what they're about. That's how they play. You know, so and when Chris Davis is looking at the setup before he played Derby, he has to think, right. So are we going to play our normal game, which he always does, or are we going to change our setup to suit a negative setup by Derby? And I don't think you should do that. I mean, Derby played with wing backs. They played with a low block. We're used to the low block. We absolutely dominated the game from start to finish. We had 28 shots or something. We
Yeah.
got beat the woodwork twice. We had it cleared off the line. We had the goalkeeper playing out of his skin. And you come off the pitch, and for the players, it must be so fucking frustrating to have the supporters just totally in meltdown about that performance when I thought actually they played quite well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'll tell you something though, Steve. That Aubameyang there, whatever. Hats off
You
to
know,
him because I think he played Clara all game, to be honest.
he did
And
what?
you don't see that very often, do you? I,
No,
I was I was very impressed with him. It's like, it's quite easy to forget sometimes that there's two teams on the football pitch, aren't they? They played they play their way, we played our way, and their bloke got the better of Clara on most duels. I thought it
he
is what
did. Yeah, I think he did. He was. You don't see Clara bullied, and I wouldn't say he was bullied, but he was out muscled. Every time there was a clash with Clara, Clara came out second. Aguimang's like 6'4". He's a
Big
big
lad.
lad. He's fast. He hasn't played. I don't think he's played in British football before. I think he came from a French team, but they paid 7 million for him, so he's not like you know. Obviously, like someone's put their hand in the pocket, but they've got to. That's someone like that would suit us because he's not a target man,
no.
but he is big and he can hit the ball, but he's fast and he's got ability and he can score goals. But someone else has got him, we haven't, and it's still, and when you look at people crying out for Kyogo to be put back in, and you look at Aguimang, and you think, you know, who would you have in your team?
Mm-hmm. As I say, I've got to be careful how I'm going to be critical or be praising your team. Because that's the first live game I've seen for a long time. And I assure you, it's a different game as you sit there in the ground and it is on television.
Yeah,
You're there. What made me chuckle? Something happened, and I was waiting to see from three different angles. Like, well, you only see once. That's it. It's gone. Um, if I had to be sceptical of one player, not critical, someone who I didn't think fit in that day, he might the other day, is Ducks. There was something about Ducks where he either didn't have it that day or he couldn't read the game or the balls weren't being played to him proper. I don't know what the fault is with him. Is it a number of things? He just didn't seem the one for me.
I think when you've got a back four like Derby had,
Yeah,
Ducks is the wrong player to play up
Yeah.
top because he just didn't. You know, I mean, their back three. Again, I'm sorry, I've got my lenses gone missing somewhere. The back three was Danny Batt in the middle because we got Sanderson missing, Langas and Clark. You know, and I mean that's a big back three.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And they were strong. It's like Pete was just saying about Clara getting muscled out. I mean, at least Clara had a go. You know, I mean, Ducks just seems to disappear when he gets bullied. And it's not, you know, or I can't, it's not a criticism of him. It is a criticism of him, but it's like playing, I don't know, it'd be like us playing a decent championship player in the top end of Premier League football. They're just not good enough to do it, you know. And I think sometimes you have to look at a player and think they're giving 100%. They're not a bad player, but they're probably a little bit out of the league. And I think that goes for Docs, Kyogo, and I think it also goes for Neumann, to be honest.
Mhm. Mhm.
I tend to think with Ducks. I mean, from when I first seen him, I thought, yeah, this bloke's a real deal. He's got a lovely touch, and
Mm.
he's got vision, and a few early games, like the way he was linking up with Roberts and Iwata, like all this one-touch stuff and everything. I thought, yeah, this is a player here. But it's like with a lot of players that you get. The more you watch them, the more you you get used to what they're bringing to the party. And for all his one touch stuff, there's a lot that he doesn't bring to the party, i.e., any type of physicality.
Yeah.
And you know, players do their own work on him. It's all you got to do is flipping jump in front of him and stop him doing his layoffs and his one touch stuff.
And it's interesting to see that and to hear that. And I'll tell you, like, the reason for that. I was listening to an interview with Stuart Pearce the other night, and I was talking about, you know, if you know, Stuart Pearce never went out and warmed up with the team before the game. It was something, I forget, one of the Wolves players, Wagstaff, he said he'd noticed that he never used to go out and warm up. He said one day he said to Wagstaff, like, Waggy, why didn't you go warm up with the team? And he said, here's Angus. He said, I'm fucking paid from 3 o'clock, right? He said, that's when I start work and I finish at 4:45. And he said, I thought, well, if it's good enough for Wagstaff, it's good enough for me. He said, so I started doing that. He said, so I'd run up and down the corridor at the back, you know, by the changing rooms and that, you know, like, and I'd run up and down there, and then just before kick-off, I'd run out, and when I run out, the Trent end were like, psycho, psycho, psycho. So, because they call me psycho, like, for this sort of thing, you know, this little thing he'd got. And he said, and the other thing is, of course, and you don't see players doing it anymore, but I think you do in the Championship. He said, is you know, when you've got your winger and you're out there in the first 2 or 3 minutes, you put him into row Z if you can, because you make your mark on him and he knows what's coming for the rest of the game. And I think that's what they do to Ducks, you know. Every
Yeah.
time you see these big centre halves like Danny Bath, they just give him a little bit of a knock and a bit of a push and bully him a little bit. You know, see him again.
Yeah.
How you doing,
Yeah,
Angus?
Steve,
Nice to see you, mate.
Ollie,
Steve, that's what I used to do in my very low level of football, playing left back. The first time that right winger came down, it was a good old sliding tackle. Try and get the ball, but make sure you give his ankle a little bit of a tap.
Yeah.
And if he came back again, you thought, "Oh, I've got a game here." If he retreated, you think, "I've got him. He's in my pocket. Job done."
And I think when you're playing, yeah, good point, Dave. You know, and it's how football probably used to be a little bit more then than it is now. But I think with when that happens, and when you've really changed the team around to get Ducks into it and played Ducks as a centre forward, and you lose Stansfield's like cutting edge at the top, it sort of changes the whole team, you know. And people are starting to have a go at Stansfield now, aren't
I was just about to say, Steve and Dad, when I was watching the game, I perhaps weren't watching where the ball was. I was watching, because it was all new to me, how the defence set up, when I go forward, the corners, everything. There was a person behind me, and I say, I weren't in a position to be, well, I'm not a critical person in anything in your opinion, but, and one was saying, Sansfield has gone off the ball. The work he does off
they?
the
No, yeah.
ball is absolutely amazing. He's everywhere. He's running there, he's running there, he's getting himself in. And it's quite remarkable. He's a workhorse, but it's a shame we can't use him a little bit as we used to, where, like, you know, but that was a division different to us.
There was a comment, or someone was asking the question. I think it was one of the women. I think it was Valerie Collins in the group, asking who was going to be captain next week, and and I think it was, because I think I've heard before Chris Davis or someone saying that Stansfield is, you know, like if Clara isn't available now, Stansfield's going to be captain. But that was before this, another time. So I think it'll probably be Stansfield. But like a couple of people were saying, like, oh, it should be like Jack Robertson, you know, uh, sorry, Jack Robinson, and then people go, oh no, like, you know, he's absolutely crap, Robinson, and all this business. You know? And then someone come on and said, yeah, I don't think Stansted should be even in the team at the moment. So fucking Stansted. Who's that then? Like, you know, but this is the whole thing. Like, you know, I think it's Samstead and Stansfield's love child. I'm not quite sure who it is. And someone else was saying that Jack Robertson should played so well down the right wing. He should be the number 10. Who's Jack Robertson, for fuck's sake? Do you know? Just does it does you, Eddie, because people, I think, honestly think like people just talk for sake of talking. I think Stansfield's a really good player. He's got the ability, he's got the leadership on the pitch. He will get in refs' faces, but he doesn't often get. I wouldn't say like he's bad in the proper sense of the word bad. He sticks up for the team. Yeah, I just like Stansfield. I think a lot about him is what Blues are about. I don't think he'd make a bad captain. Might be a little bit young. I don't know.
But you know, I mean, with Jimmy going off there, and we brought young Kumas on there. Now, there's a lot to like about Kumas in the fact that he's fast, he's direct, but he's no Dimmy, is he?
Yeah.
And the one thing that he hasn't got is a final ball.
Yeah, I think one of his problems, Pete, is that like you said, he's no Dimmy, and he's no Paddy Roberts either. The ball is like Velcro to Dimmy and to Roberts, isn't it? I think with Kumas, he's quick. He'll beat a player for three. When he tries to go past the extra player, he often doesn't make it, and he loses possession. You know, when sometimes a layoff might be better. And as you say, his final ball isn't the best, is it?
But but with what we've got available, you see, this is the whole thing, isn't it? So Dimmy's gone off. So what substitute would you have made?
Yeah,
It
I mean,
was the
for
natural.
me, he made the right substitutes. I don't know, like, you know, what would you have done?
Well, I would have done exactly that.
Mm.
Uh, it didn't work out for the kid, like you say. He's you know, you can never knock his commitment and his effort, but the final, you know, final ball ain't there, and unfortunately hasn't been there since he's got here, has it?
I
Um,
mean, I think he would have gone back to Liverpool. I don't know if he will now because I don't know what the situation is with Liverpool. They might want him back because he hasn't played enough. But if they take him back now and there's any sort of injury to Dimmy, we're sort of stuck a little bit. But the thing with Kumas as well, and I think everyone, and this is something I think if you go back and watch the replay of the game or watch it again, just watch when we're in possession, we're attacking. Instead of watching our players, look how many Derby players are behind the ball. That's the
Yeah,
difficulty. Like when you get Kumas going past someone, there's someone else behind him. And you've got to be really, really good. You've got to know when to let the ball go, when to try and take another man on. Dimmy's good at beating two players. Paddy Roberts is good at beating two players. Kumas is 19, he's got a lot to learn. They had a
yeah,
low block on, they often had 10 men behind the ball.
I found, unless I perhaps summed it up incorrectly, that from set pieces, I mean corners, not just Kumos with his final ball, the final ball from well, the crosses from corners, half of them were abysmal. Yeah, wow, they're choppy out, and you're thinking, well, I think 50% of the crosses were terrible. I think, you know.
I
yeah.
don't. The thing is, like, we're not a big team, are we? So we don't want to
No.
be playing the ball in the air too much. From corners and free kicks, we got the opportunity to because you can put Clara and Robinson up there. And honestly, I think that Jack, Jack Robinson had an absolutely brilliant game on Saturday. I thought he led from the back.
Mhm.
And someone was saying that he should be the captain. I wouldn't go against that, But I mean, I don't think he's probably played enough games to be our captain. But apparently, he's a really big influence in the dressing room as well. Chris
Mhm.
Davis was saying, but he was good in the air, wasn't he? He was really unlucky with that one that hit the bar. It was a looping header. The shot that was really well saved. The goal. I mean, the goal was just pure persistence, wasn't it? That's what we want. Someone who's just not going to give up. And I think when you're playing, I would be playing the ball short a lot more from corners. Bring the player out, play a short corner. We're better at keeping it on the ground. We're a small team. You have to live with that. You can't put big balls into the area, and you've just got two big centre halves in there. You're going to get swallowed up by teams like Derby. I mean, they bring Aggiman back. They got Bass. They got the other two central defenders. They're all like 6'2", 6'3" plus.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, I watched it back. The header that hit the bar there, and the camera goes onto Robinson, and he's like going, "Oh fuck!"
I know,
And
yeah.
I was expecting somebody to say, "Look, he hasn't learned. He's still using naughty
But the funny thing about that, and I remember him swearing at the linesman on that day,
yeah,
um, is that he's never been sent off for Sheffield United. You,
no, but,
and,
but
and they're going on about him. Oh, you can't have him. Look at him. He was at and look what he did for Sheffield. He's never been sent off for them. But Clara, our captain, was sent off yesterday, and he should hang his head in fucking shame for being sent off. To be honest, on Friday,
you,
what was he
you
doing?
you can play that back. Watching it real time, everyone was just thinking, "What the bloody hell have you done there?" It was a needless challenge that was asking for a card happy ref to get the red card out to even things up a bit. It was pointless. There was no need. It's not like the bloke's running through and he's hauled the bloke down and you're thinking, okay, yeah, you've took one for the
Took
team there.
one.
So it's on the touchline. It was a ridiculous challenge, but I mean, he's got kudos in the bank for a fair, and fair play to him. He's been superb since he's been here. He didn't have his best game at all on. I keep calling get me days mixed up now.
Friday.
Saturday on Boxing Day at all. But I thought that was a shocking uh,
Mm.
needless challenge. I really did.
But his judgment was poor. I
Yeah.
think the other one I think that had quite a good game was here in Cashin. I want to say he had a good game. He didn't have a bad game, and I think a lot of people. I think you can start to look at him now and see that there is a footballer there. You know, he just had a bit of a mare when he first come. He's not a bad left back, and of course he used to play for Derby, didn't he? I think a lot of people at Derby have a lot of a lot of respect for him as a fullback, and I don't think he had a bad game.
As
I just think it was one of those one of those days, wasn't it? You know.
as you know, Steve, I don't watch the game. I'll watch the highlights later. I'd listen to it, and the commentators were saying that Cashin was having a good game, and I can't understand. Again, I didn't look at social media after the match. I looked at it on the Saturday morning, and people saying Cashin shouldn't be anywhere near the team, and I thought, well, what game were you watching? Because everybody else was saying he didn't have a bad game. He didn't have a brilliant game, but he did what he was there to do. So why are you saying? And if you don't play cash in, who are you going to play?
Yeah,
Exactly.
it's a difficult one, you know, and I think you do have to call on these players that probably aren't the most popular amongst the fans, but at the end of the day, you're not there. I was going to say at the end of the day, you're not there to make the fans happy, but of course you are. But a lot of our supporters, unfortunately, anything, you know, it's like Pete was saying earlier, they can't credit a team with with doing something really good against us. There has to be someone's fault. You know,
Mm.
every goal has to be someone's fault, and it isn't always like that. There are bits of brilliance, aren't there? You know, and I think their break was devastating. You know, they did it, and that's exactly what they do. And as soon as they go a goal in front, Derby, you know you're going to have a low block on you because he wanted them 3 points, didn't he? Point wasn't the end of the world, was it really?
Well, anyone would have think we'd have bloody lost. You know,
Mm.
there was you look at the rest of the results there. Um, Boxing Day, there was so many draws in there. You're getting
And
less
Wrexham,
Southampton getting beat. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
it's it's not. But football's like buying a raffle ticket, isn't it? You want to win, but there's no guarantee that you will. There's the fact that supporters of the other team will buy a raffle ticket as well, hoping exactly the same. There's one thing about football is there's no guarantee, is there? And guess
The
what?
other
We've
thing,
lost.
the other thing is, Pete. Um, Interestingly, Derby are sort of opposite to us. Their away form's better than their home form. They're one of the best teams in the division on away form.
well, they're second best, and one of the reasons
Second
is
best. Thanks,
because the
Steve. Yeah.
way, yeah, to Coventry, yeah. But the reason for that is the way they set up. And I mean, honestly, I wouldn't want to be watching Coventry every week. I mean, I'd like to watch probably Aguimang and Brewster and Brereton Diaz. They're nice footballers, you know. But take them out. You take Aguimang out of that team, and I think they're getting towards relegation issues, you know.
Yeah.
But they're very hard to beat, you know, and their away form says that, you know, they're away, brilliant away. We're brilliant at home, and we both drew, so it probably isn't. I don't think it was a fair result. We deserved the 3 points, but, you know, fair don't come into it, does it?
Well, I mean, Monday it's our last game, last home game of 2025 there. In that year, in 2025, we've lost two games at home. One of them was against Newcastle.
Yeah, well, we
Well,
lost one league game.
yeah, Port Vale as well. Yeah, all right then. Um, but we've lost one league game.
Yeah,
It's not,
fucking mad, isn't it?
but yeah, all them. Oh, I don't understand why there is so much negativity. I really don't.
And what do you think the expectation is for tomorrow? Because it's going to be another full house, I would think. I don't know. We had 28,000 there on Saturday. Um, and I think tomorrow, I don't know. What the ticket sales like, Pete? I must be honest, I haven't looked.
I don't know that, mate. I was going to
No.
say I've got a season ticket, so it
Yeah.
don't.
But I think it's interesting because Southampton are a team that flood the midfield, and they're a good footballing team. We've seen them, I mean, we had a mare against them, didn't we, not long ago? But it's at our place, it's going to be different. But again, they come with the threat of Armstrong up top, and the lad that played absolutely brilliant against us was Finn Azaz, the Irish kid. Those two are absolute, worldies. And the other one is Cienza, who just played. They both play behind Armstrong up front, Azaz and Cienza, and they all three of those caused us problems last time we played. And we got no Clara, and we've got no recognised left back. So I don't know, and the thing with them is their threat comes down uh, our left. So, we're going to be looking at probably cashing at left back and Robinson left-sided centre half. I would think Neumann's going to play on the right and almost certainly Iwata at right back. So that's going to be the back four. I can't see it being anything else, can you?
Don't have anyone else to put in there.
But exactly. But the thing is, they're coming off a loss. They lost to Oxford.
Yeah, they
Now,
haven't won for 3 games. We haven't won for 5.
no, so I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, they ripped us a good one down uh, down there, and if it weren't for the much maligned Beadle, who you could blame for one of the goals, but if him, you know,
Would have been
it
6.
could have been a thumping, really. But they've lost to Oxford. You watch them Oxford goals, though. They were outstanding bits of individual um, play, and that's what I think. If we're going to get anything tomorrow, that's what we're going to be doing it.
Do you think Oxford had the new manager bounce as well, or the getting rid of the old manager bounce?
What somebody taking
Well,
their
Rowett's gone, hasn't he? So, are they out to sort of show everyone what they can do? Of course, they've got our old left-sided centre half there, haven't they? And he can't get in the team.
exactly, yeah. But
People all want Ben back, but
but no, I mean, let's not build them up to be bloody Supermen. Southampton
no.
there. Everyone's beatable, aren't they? But our big problem is like you say, is who've we got available?
Yeah, thinking about what the team will be, we've just more or less said what the back four is going to be, I think. And I think we're going to have definitely Leonard, who didn't have a bad game on Saturday, I don't think, and Pake. Pake wasn't like his normal. I don't know. It's hard. It's hard. Every time I think someone probably didn't play as well as they could, you got to think they got like 10 men in front of them every time they get the ball. When someone defends like that, it's really, really hard, particularly in midfield, finding the passes. It's almost like you're playing in a crowd. So Pike and Leonard, definitely. We're going to have Patrick Roberts on the right. Uh, I reckon Williamson will come in on the 10. We'll have um, Kumas wide on the left, and we'll have Stansfield up top, I hope.
I definitely like we just talked about earlier. I'd love to see Jay playing up top.
Yeah,
Definitely.
yeah. I think it's correct. Now, don't get me wrong. I think Chris Davies gets to the end of the season at least just for what he did last season. The guy deserves a season. But I think if he's guilty of anything, sometimes it's trying to get a player to perform when probably it gives him too many chances to try to perform. I think Kyogo is one of them. I think Dux is another. And I think Neumann has gone in. I honestly think he doesn't really rate Neumann that much. He lost his place earlier in the season. He got it back. He's lost it again. And I think he's going to be reluctant to put Neumann back in, but he has no choice on Saturday. Phil Neumann to me, it's a bit like ducks. He doesn't like a fight,
Mm.
and I think that's tough,
And but the hard thing for Chris Davis is that nobody's actually holding the hand up who comes on to say, hang on, now you try and drop me. Like I say, we've touched on it before. The one bloke who did was with Ethan Laird, and he forced himself back into the team, didn't he?
Well,
Uh,
Leonard as well, to be fair, and he got dropped, didn't he, for Pike?
yeah, yeah, yeah. But you know what I mean? There's others who haven't really held their hand up and said, "Come on, then, you make a decision on me. It ain't happening."
Yeah. Yeah, we can have a little look at the Kyogo situation because it won't go away. People keep saying when he gets it running the team, he's going to score a load of goals. I mean, I just honestly think now that should be it with Kyogo.
Yeah.
Obviously, he's going to be a squad member. He can come on with 10 minutes to go. He might score the odd goal or whatever. But I just don't think he has it. I mean, it just the last couple of times I've seen him play, he really has brought nothing to it. And people are saying, well, like that, he's not getting the opportunities, they're not playing the right balls. He is getting the opportunities. I think he's had 8 1-on-1s and he scored 4 offside or 3 offside goals. He's getting the opportunities, he just isn't scoring them. And it's all right to say, oh, like he scored an offside goal. The thing is, he was offside.
Mm.
Do you know what I mean? And I don't think he reads the line very well. I think he's too slow at reading it. Well, he's too fast at going forward without looking where he is. And I think like League One would be a great league for Kyogo. He's quick, And the other thing he hasn't got going his way is he's 31. He's not going to get any better. That's the thing. So I think at some point you have to say, well, we made a mistake there, and we definitely need a striker in the window, don't we? I mean, there's no doubt about that.
Yeah, the
You,
thing is, though, is like with Kyogo as well, like you're saying, he's missed 8 1-on-1s. I mean, had you got half of them given when he comes on,
Yeah,
they would have been impact goals that could have won us games, that could have put us in a very different position.
yeah.
And like you say, he can get the shot away, but you just know it's not in the right position. He's not in the right type of shot. Whatever it is, it doesn't come together for him.
And the what? There he is. Look, and the thing with the one-on-ones is that they're not all like where he's just running at the keeper. So people have said like sometimes like those ones are too difficult for him when he's just got the keeper to beat because you've got time to think about it. But some of them have literally been when he's just got the keeper to beat with a ball passed straight to his
Yeah,
feet, and he
yeah,
doesn't score then either. So we can all miss a one-on-one. But when you miss that many and when you score that many offside goals, and to be honest with you, on Saturday, when I looked at him in the box amongst those Derby defenders, I mean, a couple of times it was like hanging on to them,
mm,
grabbing them. It was almost, and he's so small. Those Derby defenders were just like knocking him out of the way. And he does try 110%. But to see him like almost clinging onto the back of these 6'2" centre halves, it's like
yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's I don't know what to say, but I don't think I don't think his future's with us. I really don't. He's not a championship player, and I think the same about Ducks as well.
I think the
So
important thing you said there, Steve, was about his age. If he was 24, 25 years old, you'd say ship him out to League One, get some experience there and bring him back in. But at 31, if you don't know if you can score goals at Celtic, which everybody will say, oh, that's just championship football. If you can score goals there, if you haven't learned how to read a line at 31, then no, you haven't got a place with us.
yeah, or he's just like he just probably stayed. I don't know, like he's just not quite good enough at that level. It's not his fault. He just isn't, and we bought him, and it's our mistake. But I do think it's a bit much giving 31-year-olds a 3-year contract when really hasn't played in the Championship, and the same for Ducks as well. He's 30, he's got a 3-year contract, and people are going, "Oh, let him go, let him go, let him go." Where? Who's going to take him off our hands? We don't know what he cost. We don't know how much we're paying him in wages, but I don't think we paid much for Kyogo. People are saying 10 million. It's nowhere near that. And what I think they did was they've done a good deal with him on the wages because Ghent wanted to get rid of him. He didn't score a single goal at Ghent, and not Ghent, Reims. Yeah, he didn't score a single goal. So uh, that's that in it. It's just had a bit of a mare. So don't know.
I don't know much about the young kid who made the bench on Boxing Day though, but I was sort of like I was pontificating about it, and it was on about Don Dorman and our scouting.
Yeah,
But someone was on about with Man United that they got this ridiculous sort of like thing. What? It's not ridiculous really. That since about bloody before the war, they've always had a homegrown player either playing for them or on the bench. Um,
is that right?
and, I just think that it gives a bit of hope then to the kids who are flogging themselves to death at flipping Wastills when they can't see an opening to get anywhere at Blues.
The problem with that, Pete, is, and this was I was talking to one of the under 21s mums about this, and I think all the kids well, you probably know, I'll probably mentioned it to you before, but there's a lot of the under 21 kids that aren't happy. Not necessarily not happy, but the parents aren't happy either because they're not getting opportunities. And the reason they're not getting opportunities is when we were relegated, we brought in 12 players, was it?
Yeah,
13 players. And then with the rest of the players that we had, that we retained, it filled the squad. The squad's smaller as well. The bench is smaller in League One. So when you paid all that money for players, when you have a clear out like that, the players it eats more than anyone else are the young kids because they can't get near the bench. And it's exactly what's happened. The reason that George Wynn got on the bench the other day was we were short of bodies.
yeah. But it's almost like when we get the new place in the sport, it's so good that the all the teams will be in the one complex because the way it is at the moment, if you can be a young promising kid and everything, you go to West Hills there, and it's not like you can glance over and thinking, oh, hang on, I'll get in the first team. That's what I'm going to aspire to. Well,
Yeah.
unless they look at Alf Church who are on the other pitch, that's their goal to get it. But you know what I mean? It's
Yeah, yeah.
almost like um, and I know it's not a results business, is it? At under 18, under 21 level, ours haven't been the best, have they? Um, but I just think it'd be nice just to have that little pathway somewhere. I don't like you say. I don't know how you do it when we get a fully fit uh, squad. When we get there Buchanan, uh, Scott Wright back, bringing in new players. Do you think our fan base would say, "Oh, we got a couple of good, promising young kids here, so there's no need to spend any money in
No,
January"?
no.
Not a prayer. Everyone's all on about, oh yeah, we need to bring a goalkeeper in, we need to bring a striker in, we need to bring a big strong central midfield player in, we need to bring you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's no patience with kids anymore, is there?
What's going to happen is, with our under 21s, the better ones, is when they go out on loan somewhere, because we've got quite a few out on loan at the moment, which is what all the under 21s look for. They look for a decent loan, but a lot of loaning clubs won't want to like they look at Blues and look at the players, and none of our kids have been on the bench. None of them have had any experience of first team football. Like they've never even played 20 minutes as a sub, and that's what makes it hard for our kids to get loans. But when they do and they perform, we're not in a position to say if the club want to buy them, don't buy them because we can't offer them anything.
Yeah.
So it's difficult. It holds the kids back in a way, and it holds the club back in a way. But it's like Pete just said, who you're going to have, like Mitrovic or Weir or whatever, whoever is the number 9 on the under 21s. It's like you're going to have
Mm.
Mitrovic in you.
Yeah.
So it is a really difficult one, and I don't know, like the games we've got coming up now. It's either going to be total fucking meltdown in the next couple of weeks, or we're going to come out of it with a smile on our face and some players like Buchanan coming back, like we're going to have Clara back, aren't we? We'll have Doyle back. We missed Doyle on Saturday. We did. Ethan Laird. It's almost like having a lot of new signings anyway when we get Laird and Buchanan back. Buchanan's the best left back, I think, one of the best left backs in this league. And Ethan Laird, he's got, he struggled to get back in the team with Iwata playing at right back because Iwata's been brilliant.
Yeah, I'm glad that Bright's getting some minutes over in the AFCON thing there. Hopefully he'll come back there because it's what he's been missing as well, isn't it? He's sort of like game time and everything. And when he has
Yeah,
back in, he's sort of like lost what he was in the first couple of games, hasn't he?
yeah, he looked
So
absolutely brilliant, didn't he, at the start?
yeah. I mean, hopefully there's a player there that's going to benefit from getting a bit of 90 minutes of top quality level football.
Yeah, he's strong. He's athletic. He can play right back. But what surprised me at first, when we first got him, was that Chris Davis played him at right back and left Laird out because when he'd been at Fenerbahce, he played on the right side of midfield and he played really, really well. So I thought, that's where he's going to go. And we're going to have Laird at right back. He's going to be so strong down the right hand side. And then, of course, uh, when you think it would be good to have Laird at right back and him in front of him, uh, along comes Patrick Roberts, who's undroppable, isn't
Yeah, yeah.
he? And Patrick Roberts, I keep talking about Tony Mowbray's comment about him, which I absolutely love, and it's true. Like he could play football in a phone box because the guy's got such good close control, hasn't he?
I mean, there's some of the crosses he puts into us.
Yeah, but I love his runs as well, Billy,
Yeah,
when he goes wide. I mean, don't forget he's left-footed, and a lot of left backs, although I'm sure they've done their own work on him, don't expect him to go on the outside, and
yeah,
he does because he's got a good
yeah,
right foot. And the same with Dimmy on the other side. Dimmy's right-footed, but he's got a good left foot.
yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, we haven't got Dimmy, have we, at the weekend? And so the game's coming up then, and they are thick and fast. We've got so obviously we drew with Derby. We've got the Southampton game tomorrow, which is 8:15. We got the we got the Watford game on New Year's Day at 4 o'clock at Watford at 3 o'clock. So what do we think of that? Should we be beating Watford?
We should, but who knows?
I mean, we battered them down here, didn't we?
We should get a win. Like, I mean, obviously it's going to depend on what happens. Hopefully we don't pick up any injuries against Southampton because that will really kick us. But if we go in with the team we have now, we should be okay. Should be.
But
Yeah,
fair play to them. They had a good result Boxing Day. Won away at Leicester, don't they? They
they're a
weren't the
good
worst.
team, actually. They've got, if you remember, Pete, I mean, we didn't play them long ago. Although we beat them 4-0 or 4-1, was it? It was 4-1. Cipriano played well. Luza is an absolute fucking gem of a midfielder. He had a great game. They've got Tom Ince, who looked a little bit dangerous to start, faded the game well. And then I've got Kierkegaard, who's the one that scored the goal, if you remember. He's a nice player. They've got some good players, Watford. They're a little bit Pollock at the back and the other centre, I can't remember his name. They're not like the best.
Yeah.
But don't get me wrong, they've got some very good players up front. And if we ain't switched on with what's going to be a weakened back four, or we're going to be in trouble again. But I don't think Clara got 3 games, hasn't he? He got a straight red, didn't
Yeah.
3.
he? See,
Yeah.
I thought it was a second yellow. It wasn't, was it?
Straight red.
Straight red.
Yeah, so that's him gone for 3. So he's going to miss all of them. So we're going to have this Neumann Robinson pet partnership. And well, I'm always nervous with. I'm not that nervous with Neumann with Clara by him, but because Clara's a giant, you know. But you got to look at Jack Robinson. He's only 6 foot. I'll say he's only 6 foot, like you know, he's bigger than me. But he's only 6 foot, you know. And so Cashin, who's a centre half as well. Cashin actually is a little bit taller than Robinson, believe it or not. But neither of them are big lads. So Neumann's going to have to be the muscle in there, and Neumann don't like a fight.
Well,
So
after the Watford game, we've got Cambridge away in the cup, haven't we? Now that they've been on a great run of form as well. You can say, "Oh bloody hell, they're a League Two team and everything."
yeah, they are playing well, and that'll be one for them, won't it? Really, that's a 5:45 kickoff that is. So I'm guessing that's going to be on TV.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's.
So, and I think you're right, Pete. What it's going to be to them is like, you know, when we played Newcastle, wasn't it? You
Yeah.
know, they're going to be up for that game. Definitely, we're going to be a team that's got a lot of limelight on it, and a team they're going to want to beat. And then we travel to Sheffield, and then we travel to Swansea.
Yeah.
There's no easy games.
No. I was going to say they managed to get tickets for Watford and Swansea. Couldn't get one for Cambridge, but I think Cambridge is going to be quite an interesting one, really. Not so much of, okay, let's be honest, we ain't going to win the cup, are we? But it's
Come
more
on.
about who's up for the fight. Because one thing that you'll know going into Cambridge's backyard against the League Two outfit, that they're going to come and put one on us, aren't they?
I
So
went there when we were in the old Division 3, did you?
that's it. Let's see who's up for the stand up and be counted.
Yeah. Yeah, so we got, and of course, then we got Sheffield Wednesday away on the Tuesday night, following the Swansea game. So we got some tough games. You go to Sheffield, Pete, if you can get a ticket.
Yes, I am. Yeah, I'm hopeful. I should be all right for a Sheffield one. I was going to say it was just with the Cambridge, it never got to bronze, that one. So
Yeah,
I was
that's it.
still for that.
We had
But
these things. We had these people again, didn't we, at the weekend, going on about the supporters, that don't go away. It does my head in. Come on,
yeah,
Pete, sorry.
is Clive still on?
Yeah, Clive.
Clive, it's all right. I just wanted to hear how he was. I know he sort of like only touched on it a bit, but how his whole experience was for actually getting in the ground and everything. How he felt about that. I know he wouldn't be going to the George.
Well, I just start off with, I felt like a little bit of celebrity because a lot of people said, "You be on a project page, you be on a project page, you be on a project page."
Did I?
Yeah.
That's mad, isn't it?
Hey, man.
Famous.
I come in, I said, I said, everyone can go on. I said, you just go on there. Or,
I'm going to have to come up with you, Clive. I'm going to have to try and get a ticket, and me and you will go and say,
yeah,
"This is
yeah,
it." Then.
yeah.
And then with Pete with us, it's the Holy Trinity.
Yeah.
The,
I
the,
mean,
the time I get it, people will say, "You're one of them project wankers, aren't you?"
The one mentioned you in person. He said, he's a laugh at Peter. I'm not repeating
Yeah.
him.
But when I went to Portugal, you get it like, oh, you forget people see you, don't you?
Mhm. The experience, I mean, I went to Boots years ago. I've been in bigger gates since 2018. It's quite compact there. You know, whatever pub you're going to use, or if you're going to go into the booze zone, it's going to be busy. You know, you're going to have to wait for your drinks. But for me, with bipolar, I was just anxious. There was all that many people. Are they looking at me and everything? I must say, when I sat down, when I got back home, Pete, Steve, and all of that, there was never a time where I really felt threatened by any hassle, any trouble, any like that. I mean, I was in the George. If I stayed in the George another half hour, I would have been as high as a kite. People seem to be not smoking in pubs, but smoking outside and perhaps in the toilet, maybe, I don't know. Yeah, Peter, overall, it weren't too bad. And in the grounds, it weren't too bad. Um, as he told me, will I want a season ticket in the future? I don't know. For some reason, since the operation, which I knew was one of the side effects, is I feel the cold, and I was really, really cold on Saturday. And it weren't a particularly cold day. I mean, it was cold, but it's going to get colder than that on a January Wednesday night when you're playing. But I mean, it weren't too bad. I weren't that disappointed.
Well, you enjoyed it, and that's the main thing. And if you didn't have any bad experiences, and I mean, to be honest, it's a full house. You're gonna have like little issues like waiting for drinks for ages and stuff.
Hmm.
Of course, a lot of people go up to Diggity's now, which I don't think gets quite. It's a big place as well. It doesn't get packed like that. But obviously, the grounds, the pubs right around the ground are gonna get a little bit more traffic, aren't they?
Mm.
Was I went in the old Forge now. Uh, it's what's it called now? So it's like a Cuban bar,
Oh, yeah.
but it's still the Forge to me. And it was lovely to go in there with Ben because we hadn't been for a few years, and they used to love it in there. The great pub. They used to put on free food and have a karaoke afterwards, and got the dartboard and the pool table. It was just nice, and it weren't too packed and reasonably priced as well. So that one's back on the radar for us again now for our
Yeah, I
home
think
game.
like an important part of it is that places are reasonably priced. It was interesting. I don't know if you've seen Burns's interview,
Yeah,
Pete, and because Burnsy used to own the Rooster, and he now has Diggity's, and he's been absolutely brilliant with us. I mean, he's absolute fucking gem of a bloke. But he was saying that one of the reasons for coming out of the Roost is because obviously, like, it's got a limited lifespan, hasn't it? As soon as
Mhm.
St Andrews goes, all those pubs really.
Yeah.
I must say, just thinking about it, the George, the staff were very friendly. Everything was great, and perhaps being not as patient as I should be because yeah, you did get served as you said earlier. Steve, you got to wait. If you're going on a night out in town on a Saturday night, you have to wait. I don't mind, but the staff were pleasant. The beer was tasting nice, um, and where it was situated, in comparison with other bars which I mentioned, it was reasonably priced as well. So the whole experience really of being in the George before and after weren't bad. It seems as if he's got it right, or whoever's got that pub has got it right.
So what did you
Um,
drink?
Oh well, I had two different types of drinks. I was
Oh,
taking my mate's one drink, but it was cider. I had my Magnus cider, and then as you're talking about, it was a Swedish cider. Let me see what it was called. Just go a Swedish cider, but it was a bit too sweet for me. I can't find. There we go. If I-
oh, the Corner League.
Yes,
It's
it's
bloody
sweet.
mixed fruit. That ain't no good.
Eh?
It's mixed fruit in it.
Yeah,
Yes.
Fruits of
Oh,
the
sorry, I
forest or
fear.
something. That's not beer, is it? Is it? Oh, Angus.
It,
It's for me. Shh.
you was in the
I like your shirt, Angus.
I did.
You
you
know,
was
I had
in
my new tattoo. That's it. It's scabbing up. It's driving me mad. It's nice, though, isn't it?
It is, mate. I have to get one down. I've only got the one. Look, one. That's it.
Oh, I got my old KRO as well, and fucking bits and pieces everywhere. But it took a long time to scab up, that has. But anyway,
But what I was wanting to ask Clive about really, I mean, like, I sit in the Gilmerick there, like, um, you don't get the slagging off of players around where I'm. Perhaps I'm lucky. Obviously, you'll get a few moans at a misplaced pass or a fucking hell or whatever, but it's not constant or whatever. It is reasonably supportive, but it's something almost like you say. We've got two different fan bases, haven't we? We've got people who go to a game. No, I'm not putting that right, am I? Is that the social media blues is different to the
yeah, the supporters.
saying.
According to some of the social media this morning, Tom Wagner already has someone else lined up for Chris Davis.
It's just bullshit.
I
Yeah,
know,
of course it is.
just total crap.
I mean,
But
all this thing about
but
Michael Carrick, it's just
yeah,
bullshit.
yeah. But this is an exclusive.
Who was it?
I think it was what was it? It was one of them. I can't remember. I think it was the English Football League.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
That NFL one is the worst fucking one of the
Yeah.
whole.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%.
I can guarantee you, Michael Carrick ain't going to be our manager.
No, fucking not. What a way! He's not even good enough.
There was another stupid comment of they're going to bring Tony Mowbray in to be Chris Davis's assistant manager just to give him a little bit of advice.
I wouldn't mind that. I
I wouldn't mind it,
Mowbray.
but would Tony Mowbray want to come in to be an assistant manager or an advisor or whatever they call them now, a general manager or whatever,
It could be like director of football or something.
or director of football? Chris Davis probably wouldn't mind it, but then what's Tony Mowbray's wages going to be? Do you get rid of somebody? People are saying bring Tony Mowbray in and get rid of Craig Gardner.
No,
Hold on a minute.
This is what people. This tells you exactly what people know about it. So Craig Gardner, by the way, isn't involved in the coaching staff.
Exactly.
But anyway, we're talking about something that's not going to happen. So why are we even giving it bloody time to talk? We're giving it mileage when we don't need to. Tony Mowbray is a lovely bloke, and I liked him as our manager. And it was really, really sad what happened to him. And unfortunately, he got sacked at the Albion as well. They didn't give him time. But I always liked Tony Mowbray. I wish him well. He's fucking great, Tony, isn't he, Pete?
Oh, love him to bits in it, but like you say, that ain't going to happen, is it?
No.
End of the day, Chris Davies says, "Say, well, hang on, Chris, you've done a great job. You're the most successful Blues manager we've ever had, but we're just going to bring this old fella in just to make sure you're all right, man." I mean, and it will happen at some point. But when Chris does go, his phone is going to be red hot, isn't it? If people wanting him.
Yeah, definitely.
But it was more about the whole what I was saying in our little group chat thing there, though, about the way football, not just Blues, we only see it from Blues, though, don't we? It almost like seems to become like this lightning rod for everybody's anger and hatred.
Venom.
Just attracts it all, doesn't it? The, it's so easy to forget that it's a game.
It's strange, Pete, if I'm just got in, it's strange that it's not just football. I'm on, I think most of you know, I'm a keen photographer, and I'm on some wildlife photography stuff. And people criticise on that. And he's saying, well, don't criticise me. Just tell me, yeah, I've got my settings slightly
Well, is
wrong
it?
here.
Well, they sound like
And
that's not a blue tit.
yeah, that's not a blue tit. That's a great.
What about a
Honestly,
blue tit? Huh.
people have come on, honestly, that have just got into bird watching and say, what is this? And they might stick a pigeon up. And people will go, it's a fucking pigeon. What the fucking hell's wrong? Instead of just saying,
Hey,
that's a
what's the ham
pigeon, mate.
sandwich?
Honestly,
Got to put not
it's
for
not
kids
just
now on the thing.
it's not just football. It's bloody everything that you go on to,
It's
whether it's
it's
photography.
the world we live in, Dave. Unfortunately, and it
And
look, Billy's
people
got dressed.
people decide I'm going to have a go at you. Now, what I go out and do my photography because it's good for my mental health, and I'll
Yeah.
stick a photo up, and you go, "Fucking hell, that's shit."
No, it's,
And you
Dave,
go,
calm down.
"Oh, sorry."
It's all right.
And you go,
It's all right.
and like,
You're going on about it, and then you're getting wound up about it. You're not even
yeah.
looking at
And
it.
I've stopped doing the photography. I haven't done it.
Don't put your tits on social media.
Yeah, I have. Yeah, you can't say
Or
that. It's
It's a
being
pigeons.
bit of
recorded.
advice for everyone. Billy, I
No,
want
I'm
to
not.
see that shirt. Let's have a look.
I'm
Say
not
something
doing
so
it.
we can see you.
I
Uh,
haven't taken a photo for 5 months.
it's my
Oh, Barcelona.
it's my Barcelona top.
Nice.
William got it for me some months back for my birthday. So it's just a house top, you
I
know.
thought it was a Blues one actually because I couldn't see the badge from without my
Yeah,
lenses.
it does a bit, but
Yeah, nice.
yeah, I wanted to try and guess. I'm going over the end of the month to who we playing on the 24th? Is it that's Stoke, is it?
24th? No, hold on a minute. I can probably tell you. Just chat amongst yourselves while I find out for Billy. We playing on the 24th. We are playing on the 24th. We're at home to Stoke. Yeah, we
Yeah.
are. 4 o'clock kickoff. 3 o'clock kickoff for you.
Yeah, looking forward to that. I'm going to be picking up some Blues tops as well and some other stuff.
Nice. You get them cheap then, I think. We're coming towards the second half of the season to get the stuff good. Listen, guys, we're going to call it a day now. We've been on for 1 hour and 15 minutes, I think. Because I'll tell you why. Not that we couldn't keep talking for hours, we could. But when people see it's 2 hours long, they don't even bother clicking the button because I think, fucking hell, I'm not listening to them lot for 2 hours. But it's been a night. It's been a good one today. We might even do one in the week. I'm not sure yet. We haven't got anything planned for this week, have we, Pete?
No, bro. I'm sure there'll be the drama of Southampton to chat about. That's for sure.
Yeah, we might do one.
Tuesday's my birthday, so my 66th
nice
birthday, so we've got to do it on Tuesday.
Yeah,
You're a youngster.
What we'll do is we've got one. The Southampton game. That's tomorrow, isn't it? So we might do one. We might do one Tuesday night and just have a chat about. Billy, your hair looks gorgeous. Pack it up, son.
Thanks, I know, Steve.
Hey, Dave. Bloody hell, Dave's doing his hair now as well. And Pete.
Oh, man, it's catching.
Angus, me and you, we'll give it a miss.
Yes, mate. I'll do my hair, but it's falling out.
Guys, thank you so much for coming and talking to me this morning. Anyone that's tuned in to have a listen to us, please do us a favour. I've seen them all do this, so I'm going to do it now. Hit subscribe and hit like, all right? Because we want to get some people on our... We got 450 followers, Pete, on YouTube.
Oh, man, God.
Oh no, can you believe it? And no wonder Clive gets recognised all the time. But anyone that's coming to listen to us, thank you so much for tuning in and having a listen. I hope you've enjoyed it. And also, of course, if you've got any comments to make, just make them in the comments underneath the video, or alternatively, BCFC the project in your community. Join our Facebook group. Come and say hello to us, because um, we want more people, decent people, not nutcases, right? So if you're a little bit like Dave was, like Dave, and get wound up very easily over your tits, don't be coming on, right? But guys, thanks very much. Have a fabulous Sunday.
Anyway, take care.
Hey guys.
We're going to see you soon. Thank you.